everyone, and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, extra chunky units take on extra chunky buildings as Mr. Yo, playing as the Bengalis in red, gets ready to duke it out with Hera, playing as the Byzantines in blue. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their Instagrammable sheep up to the Feudal Age. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the sim matchup we will be watching today. The Bengalis and elephant civilization through and through. Their elephant units take less bonus damage, are more resistant to conversion, and can be upgraded to attack 20% faster. By the way, their melee cavalry, which includes their battle elephants, also come with a small attack bonus +2 against skirmishers. Now, in order to support these slow units on the battlefield, Bengali monks come with a huge +3/+3 armor boost, and their unique unit, the Ratha, is one of the most versatile but hated units in the game, and probably for good reason, being a chariot unit that can switch between ranged attacks and melee attacks with trample damage. Now, to support the Bengali army, every Bengali town center spawns 2 free villagers whenever the next age is reached, and I'm going to make my usual promise that I usually break, that I'm going to try to keep an eye on this red TC going up to feudal and then castle to see where Mr. Yo allocates his 2 extra villagers. And speaking of villagers, the entire villager population and monk population can be put on a very, very strict diet, which makes them take up 10% less population space, making basically the way that works is every villager, every monk, instead of counting for 1 population room, they count for 0.9, which means later on in the game, if you do research this upgrade called Mahayana, you will have a bunch of space for more villagers, more monks, or who knows, even more army. Now, speaking of more army, let's take a look at the opponent. Today, we've got Hera playing as the Byzantines in blue, a civilization designed to be as hard as freaking possible to take down. Their structures get more and more and more HP as the game goes on. Right now, we're in feudal. They start with 10% more, 2640, compared to the usual 2400, then 20, 30, and then 40% more in imperial. And by the way, that applies to all of their buildings, and it is automatic. The bombard towers for the Byzantines can be upgraded to get splash damage. They get town watch, town patrol for free, so they automatically see enemies coming from a mile away. And once the battle starts, their monks can heal units twice as fast as normally, and they can slow down enemy advances by spamming so-called trash units for days. Why do I say that? Because their spearman line units, their skirmisher line units, and even their camel rider units are all 25% cheaper. Now, speaking of units and power and stopping your opponent, let's take a look at their unique unit, the Cataphract. This is a heavy cavalry unit with a massive attack bonus against infantry, and one that can take a good beating with a decent amount of HP and pretty strong base armor. Now, when the Byzantines finally do decide to advance to the Imperial Age, they only pay 2/3 the cost of doing so, which does allow them to reinvest their saved resources into upgrading their Cataphracts even more by giving them trample damage and an even bigger attack bonus against infantry. So these are the 2 civs we've got in front of us. Will we see infantry out of our Bengali? I don't know. It's not a terrible infantry tech tree, so never say never. But, as always, as somebody who always wants everything all at once, immediate gratification, waiting, and mediocrity be damned, I just want to see elephants. But that's just me. Let's see how the game progresses, and I am not going to tell these 2 titans of the game how to play against one another. Hera already moving out. Will discover the scout, or will he just run by him? Ooh, he runs by him right as Mr. Yo is going to send his sheep. Oh, good catch there by Hera, who doesn't really know where Mr. Yo's base is, but saw the sheep going kind of left. And so now he's going to send them, hey, keep going. Oh, he discovers the mill, so now he's going to know where his opponent is. A nice little way of finding out as you enter into this little peaceful Disney-esque community of a couple of horses, some deer, Bambi. The only thing missing here is a little lake for them to be drinking and sipping water out of. Mr. Yo is about to discover where his opponent is. So both players know exactly where the other one is, both of them going up to the Feudal Age, both on the back of 18 villagers. Our Byzantine, though, has racked up 14 seconds of TC idle time for Hera. Ooh, okay. A little uncharacteristic there. But let's take a look at the attack path. The usual relic in the center has not been gotten rid of just yet, as the new patch will do. Open on Hera's side with a forest and a wall off already up on Mr. Yo's side. Let's take a look at where the resources are, because I feel like that'll take 30 seconds, which will give me an opportunity to see where the 2 free villagers are going. Oh my goodness, look at that. I'm patting myself on the back. You can't see it, but I am actually patting myself on the back. If you're joining us on a live stream, you'll see me on webcam now patting myself on the back. But here we go. And they are on berry picking duty. Okay. Primary gold, primary stone, nice and secure to the back. Extra gold stone, pretty damn close. Although the stone is off campus in the very much forward position. We'll see whether or not that plays any role with the primary nice and secure. And the third patch of gold off to the side. So not terrible, actually, for Mr. Yo. I would call this top patch of secondary gold also kind of in the rear position. Let's call it middle. So 3.5 resources in the rear position. Hera has seen these resource patches. Has not really seen the primary gold or the secondary gold. Has seen the third gold. For his part, our Byzantine also gold and stone primary to the back. Ooh, but he's got a patch of gold and stone to the front, whereas Monsieur just has that extra stone. Bengali light cavalry units already out on the map. 4 on the menu here for our red player as he shoos away Hera Scout quite nicely. Hera Scout taking a bunch of damage basically for free, but he's luring them into the Spearman. Not Mr. Yo's first time at the rodeo. Both players' bases pretty darn open. Mr. Yo's got a kind of a medium-ish forest in the front. Hera a little bit off to the flank, the left and the right, but yeah, he's already beginning to wall this off. And the players are committing to the Feudal Age. Mr. Yo's ahead 3 villagers. You expect the Bengali to be ahead 2 villagers, obviously, as the game progresses, and then more and more and more as you get more TCs up, and those 2 villagers that you get for free in Feudal start becoming more productive and bringing home the berries, bringing home that cheddar, and affording more villagers, affording more army, affording more everything. So, you know, it grows exponentially. It's not just a 2-2-2-2 sort of thing. Mr. Yo garrisons his own skirmishers. For now, we've got a very discounted Byzantine army. 25% cheaper spearmen, 25% cheaper skirmishers. No camel riders just yet. Not exactly the Gurjaras we're watching who can train camels in the Feudal Age. But, wait a second. Hera Scout gets a little trapped there. And, okay, there you go, Mr. Yo. After damaging that scout for a little bit. Here and there, running around the map, chasing him in the center. Does manage to finally draw first blood. Hera's army. Okay, pretty good HP. Scouts pretty good HP. Yeah, so everyone's got some pretty good HP. So the battles should be fun. Not everyone is the biggest fan of Feudal Age battles. I don't mind them at all. They involve a lot of micro, especially this kind of micro. Where Hera is trying to channel his inner Viper. Will he lose? He does lose a villager. Ouch. So not only was he down 3 villagers, he loses one. Now he's down 4 villagers. Does exact a price for it, though. An 80 food scout is not a small matter, but Mr. Yo, I'm sure, is very happy as the Bengalis to just further and further the lead. Both players getting fletching at the exact same time. It looks like a few seconds apart. And skirmishers caught out in the open. Fantastic maneuvering so far out of Mr. Yo. His scouts are just non-stop. I mean, you expect Hera's units to be non-stop. The gentleman with 3 million APM every single game. Another dead Byzantine unit. But when other players do it, it's always so impressive as well. Just the armies don't move. One thing when we saw the low elo games that I've been casting lately, if you're not familiar, I've been doing a set called the State of the Empire, a pun or a play off of the State of the Union that the American government does every year. But it's the State of the Empire. I'm going up the ranked ladder. I was going to say up and down, but no, it's not a game of snakes and ladders. I'm just going up the ranked ladder, 100 elo at a time. So we started at 0 to 100, then 100 to 200. Next is going to be 2 to 300, and so forth, all the way until we get up to Hera. And we can see how exactly the ladder looks like, because a lot of people talking about, hey, I started and I lost 17 games in a row, and I'm at the 300 elo, and other players are complaining that 1200 elo players are way too good and blah, blah, blah. So I figured, you know what, why don't we take a look and see what the heck is going on? Why do I mention this? Because those players that we've seen so far in the 0 to 100 and 100 to 200, the movement, the fluidity of the military micro is something that does separate the high elo from the low elo. I mean, there's a lot that separates high elo from low elo, but one thing is the maneuvering of the army. Look at them maneuvering around each other, flowing, the spearmen trying to go to the right, trying to lure the light cav and then closing in on them. Whereas in the lower elo games, you kind of have players that build armies, train armies, but then they just kind of group them and they sit there in front of the base until the player feels comfortable to move out And once they move out, then they kind of try to micro, but nothing that even compares to the level of, like I said, I don't know what other word to use except fluidity. It's like, what did Bruce Lee say? Be water, be the shape of water. By the way, 17 kills to 12. Mysterio is slowly getting more and more ahead when it comes to getting damage done now. Unfortunately, he is killing discounted units, and he is losing full price units in exchange. So I don't know how it all works out in terms of resources, total resources lost. Who is coming out ahead here? All I know is that Hera is now down 5 villagers, racking up even more idle time on his TC. It used to be in the teens. Now it's my age, 43, 44, 47. Oh my goodness. Time flies, as does the TC idle time. And Hera does just need 100 more food, 100 more gold until he can go up to Castle. Mr. Yo, he's got the food, he's got the gold, he's clicking up. And where do we think his next 2 villagers are going to go? I love that he's just defending all of this with a single scout, who, to be fair, is pretty darn safe because these spearmen cannot close on the skirmishers who come with attack bonuses against them, basically. Which means this scout is free to run amok. This is why I love Feudal Age battles. They're just all there's so many. Everything counters everything at this age. At this point, everything is weak as shit. Nobody has boyars and Teutonic knights and Frankish paladins. Everything is all kind of what's the max attack? A base of a 5 on a scout. The spearman does 3 damage. The skirmisher does 2. The archer does 4. These are not heavy hitting units, so they're around for a while, and they all counter one another, which always makes the dance very fun. That's what it is. It's an Age of Empires dance, and those of us who don't dance do enjoy watching it. Pretty much like professional ballroom dancers. There you go, a couple of scouts running around, both players heading up to the next age. Hera about 45 seconds behind. It's down 4 villagers, soon to be down 6 villagers. Not really walling off his base at all, not really concerned is our Byzantine. I wonder why. He sees Monsieur's army across the map, and so he must wonder, where are you going to attack next? Or should I be the one putting on the pressure? 3, 2, 1. There they go, off to the left. And they are going to cut some trees down. Okay, well, look at that. I managed to catch 2 of the 3 age ups, whatever you want to call it. As a monastery goes down for our Bengali as well. Let's see some of those +3/+3 monks. They are potentially able to wreak havoc on the usually dead nature of monks when there's scouts out. Scouts usually need 3 whack-a-whacks to kill a monk, as we know from our arena experience. But when they have +3 army, +3 armor, it does add a little bit more juice. Now that armor, of course, doesn't factor into the bonus that the scout cavalry comes +6 and then light cap +10, obviously. But it does help with the, like I said, base 5 attack. And now we're in Castle Age. Camels are out. Elite skirmishers and bodkin for blue. Not a whole lot for red except light cavalry, which he's probably going to regret getting that upgrade the second he saw those camels come out. And now Hera's army is so much bigger. Hera's army is so much better. He's down 6 villagers, but does he care at all? He's also poking in the rear of Mr. Yo's base, seeing that second town center go out. Oh, pardon me, I hit the vision of the gold. Seeing that second TC go up in the location is fantastic, especially since you know there is literally no wall here, and your camels move really, really fast. Will he try to get a villager kill here? Ooh, okay. We'll be able to get one. Will he get more? Is he going to commit? Does he have a choice? Oh, Mr. Yo, a little bit too late with the house foundation. So Hera evens up the Vil kill count. And now moves in to the base to go after those monks who +3/+3 bonus. Now against a unit like a camel that has no bonus against monks, that is a fantastic amount of armor to have. I don't think they have bonus against monks, right? Yeah. This one last unit is being chased, but the scout, I believe, should be 155, 150. Yeah, it should be faster. And so unless Hera decides to take a fight, his unit is pretty darn safe. Sniper line from the monk moves the camels back. Oh my goodness, how much HP does this one? This guy has 2 HP. Villager, kill this guy. camel. Okay, well, bye-bye, Bengali unit that was chasing the Byzantine unit. Hera flips the turntables on him. Looks like he got another villager here, so pardon me, another 2 villagers. I just heard another one die. 4 villagers are dead. All of a sudden, the Vil kill lead is down to 1 for our Bengali. It was 6 a second ago. Now it's 1. As Hera with a 2nd TC now plops down a 3rd TC in the very forward position, returning home with his first relic. By the way, TC's 3120 HP to the, again, usual 2400. The Byzantine buildings just get chunkier and chunkier and chunkier as the game goes on. And that's what happens when your camels have no HP on them. The town center just guns them down in the blink of an eye. Not that these camels have any good base armor, usually 0-0 on a camel. Man, is it me or have the players just been fighting one another since like minute 5 of the game? It has just been non-stop. High ground does save the skirmishers from certain rocky death. Converted camels here do take the fight, lose the fight, and now the Bengali army has to get the hell out of here. I don't know why that monk was just hanging around, but Mangonel falls. Skirmishers are free to move forward. And oh, he saved. He saved the monks. All right, well, they were free to move forward until the scorpion made its appearance. What are you? You are a monk. You are a monk. You are not a monk. And you are definitely not monk. So Hera getting shooed away by a single scorpion is an interesting situation. He's also going very far off campus to go after what here? He sees the gold. Would this location not be better for a town center? He sees the gold, sees the relic, sees all of it. Now the camel will be able to catch up to this light cav. Should be, right? Yeah, both players look like they've got... No, Mr. Yo, pardon me, does not have the husbandry upgrade. The light cavalry always throws me for a loop when it's the 1.5 guy, because I know that it should be more, but my brain for some reason refuses to acknowledge that it should be like 1.65 or 1.7 at some point. Hera shoot away yet again, and this is the quietest the game has been in 25 minutes. Oh, the scorpion doesn't let the mangonel get the kill. It bolts down that scout real right quick. And what is Hera doing? 8 camels, 11 skirmishers. Mr. Yo going up with a castle. Doesn't really have much of an army. There's bloodlines, wheelbarrow. Going for a castle. Weird location for a castle. No, I mean, there's so much high ground around here. Why not take the middle? I mean, I get it. You don't want to risk your villagers. You have no army to support them. I guess that's kind of why. But much better places for a high ground castle here is now all of a sudden all the blue dots that were used to be on the map have now retreated back to the base. And now it's all just red dots moving forward. Although, yeah, individual red dots being siege, probably not going to last very long against a horde of camels. Rathas are out. Okay. Another conversion fire. Look how long the monk lasts with all that armor. Oh my goodness. That is a long-lasting monk. Gets another conversion. And he survives? No. I was going to say survives to tell the tale. Why is he going to Rathas? Why is our Bengali going Rathas? I'm literally scratching my head. I mean, the Byzantine has 3 units that are cheaper. And each one of those 3 units does bonus damage against the Ratha. This is why the Ratha is such a hated unit. It has every armor class under the sun. Archer skirmishers do damage against that. Cavalry camels do damage against that. Cavalry spearman line do damage against that. Cavalry archers skirmishers do damage against that. Unique unit, well, we're not going to see any samurai anytime soon in this game, but it has so much armor and so much different armor that every quote-unquote counter unit does bonus damage against it. Hera is going up to Imperial. Neither player with a presence on the map. What a weird game. Weird location for a castle for Mr. Yo. Weird decision to go into Rathas. Look at how long this monk lasts. My goodness. And weird that nobody's taking the center of the map. I mean, Hera's seen the castle, right? Yeah, he's definitely seen the castle. Monsieur sends those converted camels, the Rathas, out. He definitely needs to get some good upgrades. He finally does have husbandry on them. Army count. Hera's ahead by 10. Villager population. Hera's ahead by almost 10. Another anchor castle to the left. So we are doubling down on Wrath as a university as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. Aesthetically, this is one of the prettiest units in the game. Okay, Mysterio did manage to get another villager kill here underneath the TC, and now the Wrathas are in ranged mode. I love that the developers gave them trample damage when they're in melee. We'll keep an eye on this as the battle here to the front. Like I said, it's a very pleasing unit to look at, but it's just such... I don't know, it's really meant to replace knights and crossbowmen in the Castle Age. And then after that, who the hell knows what the point of the Wratha is. Mobility, sniping, melee versus range, they're just so susceptible to counters. And especially when you're playing against the Byzantine and the counters are all 25% cheaper. I mean, this is what happens. You're trading out Wrathas for skirmishers. Another pair will get caught out here. Oh, maybe not. No. Hera's army count, by the way, is growing. It's almost 3 times the size of Mysterio's, 2.5. But Mysterio's also heading up to the Imperial Age. Hera's going to be there in a second, but what the hell is he going to do? Once he's an Imperial, there's no castle here to build a Treb, so he's not really going to be pressing any kind of advantage here. There's no infrastructure for either player. Maybe there was a gentleman's agreement to say, hey, let's just use armies for now. Nobody crosses this demilitarized zone. And there's pikes, the upgrade that makes the elephants attack 20% faster. Also, I should point out, will make the Wratha attack 20% faster as well. That is a fantastic upgrade for Mysterio to get. The attack speed will go from 2, we'll see it in a second, to 1. I think it's supposed to be like 1.66 something, 1.67 maybe. Castle for our Byzantine as well. Are we going to see cataphracts? Probably not. I mean, I wanted to see elephants, I wanted to see cataphracts. I just want to see everything all the time. Yeah, 1.66. Yeah, well, rounded up to 1.67. Mysterio has managed to get more villager kills. He's up to 4. Hera's only at 5. So villager kills not exactly a big thing this game. Hera, though, with 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers to the 3 of his opponents, now has an 18 villager lead. He's going into heavy camels. And Mysterio, are your Wratha's elite? They are not. Do they have any relevant upgrades? They've got +1 attack, +1 armor only. And they're going to be facing... Wow, beautiful shot there by the skirmishers. They're going to be facing pretty much fully upgraded heavy camels in the next 40 seconds. Byzantine's missing the blast furnace upgrade. Obviously, that would just be way too unfair. But they don't have to be Hindustani. They are shredding through this blacksmith like nobody's business. Mysterio, in the meantime, is gathering his Wratha force here to the south. Okay, he's getting Bracer and Chemistry. That's good. Oh my goodness. These skirmishers, are they one-shotting? Pretty much one-shotting these villagers. Oh my god. Well, you're in the base. Why don't you do something about it? And there, finally, we've got somebody steps foot into the center of the map with a building. Finally, and it's not just any building, an Imperial Age Byzantine castle with 6,700 HP. In the meantime, Hera very busy demolishing the community housing, the suburbs of our Bengali base. As the Wrathas move forward, how many of them are there? Only 14. Hera's at 200 population. Mysterio has played way too passively, and this is what happens when you play passively against Hera. He rushes up to 200 while you're at 135. That is just very bad news bears for our Bengali. Who, to be fair, did he cancel Bracer and then re-get it? I don't understand. I don't know. I feel like he canceled and went for conscription instead. The Wrathas are getting stronger. The camels do have the full 4 pierce armor, 3 melee armor that they're going to have. But that might not be enough here. The problem is the skirmishers are still here. And there's a lot of blue skirmishers. Now, if Mysterio had enough Wrathas to one-shot the camels, it would be a different story. But they have closed, and here comes the bonus damage. Plus 18 against cavalry. The skirmishers with, I think, what, plus 5 against archer and, pardon me, plus 6 against archer and cav archer units. But the camels melt. The numbers here working out for Mysterio, and now the skirmishers for Hera are up Shit's Creek without a paddle. They are just stuck here with nothing. Oh, okay. Will they target one more Wratha? Will they just walk and die? They just walk and die, going out for a bit of a Sunday stroll. A Sunday stroll of death. Dum dum dum. 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers. 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 1, Well, there you go. So the numbers finally working out here for Mr. O'Hara has been knocked down to a meager 50 army count. Now, half of that is skirmishers. So if Mr. O wanted to avoid it, oh my goodness, 1 castle's not enough, 2 castles not enough, 3 more castles for our Byzantine. Who finally lays siege to Mr. Yo's base here. I mean, this is the classic game of one player just not pressing into the other. To be fair, Hera didn't really press into Mr. Yo as well that much right up until the last few moments when he destroyed that blacksmith, went after the houses. Is there a backup blacksmith? Yeah, it is here to the rear. But Hera, using his time more effectively, did manage to pump out 123 villager count is identical. The problem is now you're facing that ridiculously cheap Byzantine army. And not only is Hera at 200 population, he's also training 8 units at a time. Mysterio's training 4. So he's down in army, he's training fewer. I want to see how many structures our Byzantine has compared to our Bengali as the battle here is joined. The light cavalry meat shield dies immediately. Now the Byzantines do not get bloodlines, so these camels are not at their full. Well, I guess they are, for the Byzantines are at their full, and oh no, Mysterio's getting pressed back. Okay, well there you go. Wow, he doesn't even stick around to watch his units all get slaughtered. They're just, a white flag is waved, Mr. Yo capitulates, and this is what happens when you give, I mean, look at the mini-map. This is what happens when you don't press Hera. 2 castles to the right, a Bermuda's Triangle here to the left side of the map. And he's now got 5 castles, not that he's using them, but these are zoning castles. This is to make sure that if Mr. Yo wants to counter raid, he's going to take some kind of castle fire there. All he needs is 1 more somewhere here, maybe on this hill or on this hill, now that he's got control of this place. But why the hell did Mr. Yo not take the center of the map? Why the hell did Hera not take the center of the map all the way until a few minutes ago? Very confusing. Now he's thieving the secondary stone. But Hera using his time, even though, look at the TC idle time. And we saw that he was struggling with that a little bit. Very uncharacteristic for Hera in the beginning of the game with TC idle time in the 40 seconds minute mark. But now he's got 10 more minutes of TC idle time. It's not like he's got 20 town centers. He's just got 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 4 of Mr. Yo. I mean, this is a relatively new addition, but still 4 to 4. And Hera has 10 minutes more TC idle time and still somehow manages to pump out an equal number of villagers. And wow, he did manage to kill. Oh, that was so brutal here. Villagers after villagers after villagers with those skirmishers just one-shotting them. And Mr. Yo, what? I mean, I'm trying to think, what can he have done? When you're playing a matchup like this where you want to go your unique unit, but your opponent's civilization basically entirely counters that unit, I guess you have to go something other than a one-on-one confrontation like this. You have to go maybe strategically, positionally. You have to shove up the middle. You have to plow some infrastructure. You have to very much definitely set the pace of the game. Because if you let Hera set the pace of the game, this is what happens. He has 73 army to your 24, more than 3 times the army count. I mean, by 1, but still, for dramatic purposes, more than 3 times the army size. And the entire army counters your army with all that bonus damage, +6, +18, and is 25% cheaper. Well, welcome to fighting against the Byzantines, which is just always such an uphill battle, especially since they can get their butts up, like we saw with Hera, to Imperial so much quicker, paying 2/3 the cost of doing so. 667 food, 533 gold is basically going up to Imperial for free. I mean, forget the Italian 15% discount. This is just a ridiculous discount. And Mr. Yo's settlement, it's decent. It's decent, but it's not closed. And his military industrial complex is 2 buildings. He went unique unit, but he only had 2 castles. And now he's got 1 castle, which means what the hell are you going to train? Hera, for his part, went camels out of 5 stables, skirmishers out of 5 archery ranges. So also not the biggest MIC, military industrial complex, but one that can still pump out 10 units at a time, 5 from here, 5 from here. Whereas Mr. Yo stuck pumping out 2 units at a time, and we saw some light cav getting added in there. How many stables? 4 stables. Okay. 4 stables is not bad. So he had 6 military buildings to the 10 of Hera. I'm not even counting the castles, which I'm sure we're going to start pumping out cataphracts. Why the hell not? He's got all the upgrades for them from the camel side of things. And wow, Mr. Yo, Hera both playing passive, but first to step out into the center of the map, I guess, is the winner. The first to be kind of dictating the pace of the game is the winner, and that first person is Hera, although Mysterio didn't help with his Ratha play. Again, I'm trying to think what the Bengalis could have done. Besides setting the pace of the game, it's very, very difficult once you commit to the Ratha to defend it well. It just is, again, it's the reason. There's a reason it's the most hated unit in the game, and that is why they made it so versatile, I guess, to counter that. But look at the APM, more than twice for Hera, 272 to 127, 12 minutes and 16 minutes in. So Feudal Age battles, like I said, the dance of the Feudal Age micro between the two players. You know what? If you remove the 1300 relic golden difference, it's really not that bad. About 10% bigger economy for our Byzantine, who, was ahead of like 20 odd villagers at some point, but Mysterio did catch up. Did manage to get more wood, but everything else going to our Byzantine. Conversion 6-0 from our Bengali. We saw all those camels being turned red, 5 raisings to 2, but that's not really the full story. Not the conversions, not the raisings. This is another one of these games where it's a combination of you just made the wrong army, especially when your opponent's army is this massive and counters everything you have, and you've given up position in the center of the map, so these Trebs are going to shell away. There's literally nothing Mysterio has here. Even with 20% trample damage, a Ratha is not going to destroy these 2 Trebs before Hera can react, especially not with a Monk here and a bunch of skirmishers here. Remember, even in melee mode, they take damage from bonus damage from skirmishers. And that's just another fun feature of the Ratha. And it is with the Ratha that Mysterio ultimately decides to tap out, even though, again, like I said, what a cool unit. I love when players go Rathas, even though 9 times out of 10, it doesn't really work out for them. It's just such a fun unit to watch. The death animation is amazing. The dead bodies are fantastic. It's all really fun to watch, but look at the screen in front of you. Look at the Byzantine army. Hera just absolutely overwhelms in a tidal wave of blue death, takes the W, but GG in a pretty much 40-minute non-stop aggressive battle between the two players. Let's say 35, 36 minutes, because there was a few minutes here that they didn't fight each other. But for the vast majority of the game, the players were just at each other's throats. Feudal Age, Castle Age, and now an Imperial. And ultimately, it is Hera who gets the jugular and the W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.